Somali has officially been indicted by South Korean authorities for obstruction of business. What does that mean for him? Well, he could be looking at up to 5 years in prison, a huge fine, and potential deportation.
Ooh.
Yes, this is as serious as it sounds.
Sorry, I'm black. I'm not gonna drink nothing.
여기서 드시면 안 돼요.
I don't drink. Here. No drink. No. Look here. 이거. I eat the ramen.
This dude, Johny Somali, really thought he was untouchable, huh? First, let's talk about his ramen noodle haircut. Dude looks like he's storing emergency rations on his head. After getting served by one Korean guy, a literal line of locals formed, like they were at a carnival, each waiting their turn to whoop him. Johnny's ego, though, stayed unchecked. This man turned into the live streaming equivalent of a loot goblin, antagonizing anyone within a 20-meter radius like he was in some GTA side mission. One Korean Navy SEAL took it personally, tracked Johnny down to his hotel, and handled business. But the funniest part, Johnny ended up in the hospital only to get followed outside and jumped again. He's out here catching respawns like it's a video game. Even YouTuber Rotten Mango got in on this circus, covering his mess in a way that introduced his antics to millions. With her platform ranking top 100 on Apple Podcasts and number 17 on Spotify, she brought attention to the South Korean government's biggest headache: what to do with Johnny. Now calls for action are intensifying, with some jokingly suggesting deporting him to North Korea, where he might ironically become a national treasure for disrespecting the South. Insane timeline, right? But things get darker. Johnny has been pushing boundaries, from AI-generated indecencies involving a female streamer to outright disrespecting cultural monuments. He even vandalized someone's house live on camera. At this point, it's like he's trying to collect every charge possible: trespassing, harassment, vandalism, and more. The situation reached a boiling point after he desecrated a statue commemorating victims of historical atrocities. To him, it was a joke. To Koreans, it reopened deep wounds. His live stream stunts went viral for all the wrong reasons, with South Koreans in the world demanding accountability. New laws against deep fakes and public harassment have turned his antics into a case study for why stricter penalties are needed. But here's the kicker: Johnny doesn't stop. He's been seen mocking locals, harassing random women, and yelling nonsense in public. His behavior screams main character syndrome. But this story is heading toward a brutal finale. With pressure mounting on South Korea to make an example out of him, the authorities might just throw the book and the whole library at him. Johny Somali, a name that has become synonymous with chaos, disrespect, and ignorance, has managed to spiral his way into international notoriety. His journey from being a live streamer to a global pariah is a story riddled with controversy, recklessness, and ultimately his downfall. The saga of Johny Somali is one for the internet history books, and it's a cautionary tale for anyone looking to toe the line of what's acceptable online, especially in foreign countries. The absurdity of Johny Somali's antics became a talking point when people couldn't help but joke about his appearance. By Tayu, comments like "what's he got ramen noodles in his hair" weren't just criticisms of his look. They became a metaphor for the way he carried himself: cheap, messy, and unpalatable to most people. However, things went beyond the superficial as his behavior escalated into something far more dangerous and offensive. In one particularly infamous incident, Johnny and his two buddies were confronted by a single Korean man who had simply had enough. This wasn't just an isolated event. Once the initial confrontation ended, a line of Koreans reportedly formed, eager to have their shot at the disrespectful streamer. This moment seemed almost karmic, as Johnny's entire brand was built on antagonizing the very people who were now taking a stand against him. Johnny's attempts to provoke people extended beyond physical confrontations. He used social media to challenge anyone within a 20-meter radius to find him. "Instagram me, let's fight," he taunted as if he were begging for trouble. And trouble did come. One instance involved a Korean Navy SEAL who went above and beyond to locate Johnny. But it didn't end there. In an almost comedic turn of events, Johnny, after being hospitalized from a previous beatdown, was followed as soon as he left the safety of the medical facility. Dude, it was as if he were being spawn camped in real life, with his enemies waiting just outside the safe zone to pounce again. Enter Rotten Mango, a podcast by Stephanie Sue which covered Johny Somali's antics and their implications in meticulous detail. With nearly 4 million subscribers on YouTube and millions more on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, Rotten Mango introduced Johny's crimes against South Korea to an entirely new audience. This wasn't just a recounting of his actions, it was a public indictment that further pressured South Korean authorities to take action. The podcast episode went viral, drawing attention from international media and putting Johny's actions under a microscope. Comparisons were drawn to past